Oh,
Yes.
oh, food diuretic. Yep.
Good timing, Deb.
It's diuretic.
Always.
Good morning. All right. So today we got Consulting Crones on my channel, and we have my, I would say, host, and I'm the co-host, Debbie, and special guest Summer from AstariaSen.
Yeah.
So how are you ladies doing today?
Go ahead, Summer. You start.
Okay.
It's really foggy here, kind of. So I've got my fire going, and it was supposed to be warm, but it didn't turn out that way. But that's okay. It just makes for like really good lighting on the cameras.
Ooh,
That's
yeah.
good, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
It's been a good morning so far. Just a rough, rainy week.
That's
How
what
you
it's
doing?
been doing here. That's what it's been doing here in New Hampshire. Just rain constantly. Yeah, I haven't even watched the weather. I have no idea when we're supposed to get sunshine.
Well,
Can
it's
I see? Oh, now I see
75
chat.
here today. Yes.
75 there?
Yeah. Yep. We got Selena.
Jealous. Hello, Selena.
We've got Hillary.
Oh, he's here.
We've got Ange
And
and Jess.
hello, Jess.
And oops, I missed one. Courtney.
Courtney.
She can't comment, but she's listening. Thank you. All right. Oh, and my sister, Rochelle.
Hello.
Hi. Well, thank you everybody for coming in.
Yes. Love that.
You know that we are doing the series on each of our channels now.
Mm-hmm.
So that's why we're starting it today on mine, and then you'll be able to see it in 2 weeks on Debbie's, and I think we're going to keep doing that, and then we'll create the playlist for our channels so you catch it anywhere. Or on
that makes sense. I think that'll be easier than running 2 channels. Well, and then I'm gonna start doing Debbie's journey for like all my crafty stuff.
Ooh,
it's not witchy.
Right.
So.
Crafting is witching.
I know you said
yes,
that.
It is.
On my post, I'm like, I know. The crafters might not think so, though. Sort of like BookTube. Reading is witchy.
Yeah.
It's spiritual, right?
It can't be.
Witchy is spirituals. So, I mean, that's all about creation, I think.
Mm-hmm.
So speaking of spirituality, Summer, tell us about your like, I mean, everybody I think associates your channel with the Fae. I mean, you are an expert in my opinion. How do you work that into how does that work with your spirituality?
So are you meaning like, how do I, because like a lot of people with their spirituality, they do what? They do journaling with gods and goddesses, right?
Uh-huh.
They do altar work with their deities or their energy work and all that stuff. Tarot, obviously, for a lot of us, all that kind of thing. I just add fae to it, like literally. Well, if it's tarot, it's fairy tarot, right? If it's an altar, then I just add fae stuff on top of my, how would I put this? Because I believe in like the universal existence, like that everything happens for a reason for me. Like I believe that fully. So that's part of the spirituality, and I just add the fae into it. My mother-in-law, she's religious. She's a Seventh-day Adventist. And we ended up in a discussion about fairies because she told me that she sent a message once and she was like, well, I was just thinking about this, but we create labels for these beings, these things that we don't understand. And now that we do understand them, it's in God's eyes and all this other stuff. And what I told her to help her understand like how I viewed the Fae was that if there is a God, right, and God created everything, then he also created the Fae.
Right.
So it's just involved in the world. It's not, for me, they're not a God that I, you know, pray to or anything like that. They are an energy that I work with in all of my regular doings. Even out here on the homestead, it's, you know, taking care of the animals, taking care of the land, planting, doing all those things is a part of nature. Nature is a part of the Fae because they're really big into nature stuff. And so it all just kind of like blends together. For me, there's no real separation of any of it. But if you had to do it, that separation, like how do you implement it? If it's tarot, you just add a fairy tarot to it. If it's an altar, add a little fairy to the altar. If it's, you know, any kind of prayer, just write a poem to the Fae instead. If you're doing moon work, you know, include the Fae in your moon work, like providing offerings of moon water. There's just so many different ways to incorporate Fae, just like there is gods, goddesses, or ancestors. For me, it's like the same concept.
Right. Oh, that makes so much
I can
sense.
get behind that. Absolutely.
Yeah. That's
Go ahead,
similar.
Debbie. Go ahead.
Similar to what I do. I think of them as like beings just like us. Maybe not as corporeal, although sometimes I think I've seen things out there when I'm foraging. So they could be, who knows? And yeah, I invite them in or like ask them to stay away or ask them to protect my yard a lot. I'm trying to connect more with them, but yeah. So I'm a big fan of your channel. Anything Faye, I go to your channel and go, okay, search channel.
Definitely.
Yeah.
Even for myself, because I'm not, you know, I don't know that much about them. I don't have much, you know, any material. And I think I have maybe 2 tarot decks. So it's like, you know, you are the go-to.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
I think
So
the hardest part for people is that they don't. So when you think of the Fae, you think of, you know, the Isle of Man, you think of Ireland, you think of, you know, all the folklore, the folk tales in Fae, which is not usually in the United States, right? We don't have a lot of folklore in the United States that's very fairy specific. And there's a lot of people who are like, well, you have to go to Ireland to connect with them. You have to do this to connect with them. And that's not really true. You don't even need, you know, the fairy gardens or fairy houses or anything like that to interact with them in any way, shape, or form. The whole point is just to invite them in, you know, just like if you would a god or goddess that you might want to work with. You know, it's the idea that there's a whole idea that they can travel through portals like water.
yeah.
Or nature portals, natural openings, natural holes, natural things that they can portal through. Yeah, back and forth. That it's not limited to just a certain place. That just happens to be where most of the interactions come from.
Oh, okay.
So I know you can't see chat really well, Summer. So they've been, you know, sharing stuff about aliens and the association, and you know,
Yeah.
Rochelle started it.
Oh yeah, of course.
So she
That
wants
is
to
one
know,
of them.
are the Fae aliens or hybrids, or do some Fae fall under the alien umbrella? What do you think?
Because I don't personally follow the alien stuff, I don't really look at them that way, but I've read a lot of material that has absolutely incorporated the Fae with alien activity or as alien beings rather than, and it comes the same with demons that have interacted with, you know, alien or Fae and demon, like Fae is a demon or Fae is a ghost or Fae are even angels. Or, you know, there's just so many, there's so much in the backlog of folklore to actually interpret so many different ways. And there's a lot of people who believe that the Fae are alien incorporated.
Yeah.
That's fun.
I'm
I never
inclined to
thought of
think
them that way.
I don't think of them as aliens or angels. I think of them as their own separate beings. But there's lots of people who put those different kind of connotations on them, and that's all personal gnosis. Is what they attach to things and what comes to their mind. Because when you're interacting with the fae, it's not like they're right in front of your face telling you all the things you need to know. It's a spiritual energy, just like with a god or a goddess. You are downloading or perceiving that energy, and it's being translated into your mind, and you have to decide how to work that out for yourself.
Yes. That's
right. I love
perfectly
that.
said. Yes.
Yeah, that was awesome.
So
What about
Rochelle
the
thinks,
jinn?
what about the jinn? Do you
The
think
jinn are just part of the fae in a general sense. Because the fae is an umbrella term. And then you have different versions of fairy or the fairy land, which are both fairy, by the way. So there's all those different levels. It's like saying pagan, but pagan incorporates a ton of different things. Fae incorporates a ton of different things, which includes the jinn. It includes mythical beasts, right? Like phoenixes, unicorns, all that kind of stuff. Yeah, that's all fae. Technically, it falls under that fae category. And you can even break it down even further. It just, like I said, it comes to a point where your brain works, how your brain categorizes things, how your personal gnosis comes into play with what you know and what you can actively incorporate into how you think.
Well, you pretty much answered Rochelle's next question, because it was that what different beings fall under that umbrella of fae?
There's so many. There's so many. People even consider ghosts, fae. So even ghosts can fall under that fae umbrella for some people. I don't see them as ghosts, or aliens. I think those are separate categories personally. But any kind of nymph, mermaid, unicorn, tree spirit, that kind of stuff would all fall under a fae category. Gnomes would fall under a fae category, stuff like that.
So you've obviously been, very fascinated by the fae for a very long time.
Yes.
So do you remember what first drove you, or inspired
triggered
you?
it? I have no idea, honestly. Like when I look back in my past, my mom was a big angels and unicorn fan. She used to collect angels and unicorn, not fae though. And I don't think I really started looking at fae stuff until I was an adult, like in a general sense. I first was attracted to dragons and unicorns. But that was my mom's doing too. She kind of encouraged that. And then as I got older and started coming into my own, right, people just started giving me fairy stuff. Like it literally just somebody bought me something fairy, and then suddenly everybody was buying me something fairy.
Well, to be fair, you're pretty little, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
I am very tiny.
Fairy-esque on your own.
Yes, very much. I agree with that too.
How tall are you?
I am 4'10".
You're shorter than me. I love you even more now. I love you even more. Well, because everybody at my job, like in grade 9 through 10, I'm 5'1". So
my husband is 6 foot.
Oh my gosh. Yeah, Bob is too.
Oh, wow. Yeah.
So funny. So we're both little, but you're littler than me. Yay. I love that.
Hey, when I come across people who are smaller than me, I feel the same.
I know. It's like, yay.
Well, Rochelle wants to know if you have a preferred type of fae that you work with.
I really like brownies, honestly. That's what I tend to work with most out here. I also like the nature spirits. Like when I'm outside in nature, I like the actual nature spirits, whether it's tree spirits or water spirits, anything like that. I like working with those kinds of fae the most. I think that's who most tries to work with me or tries to get my attention 90% of the time.
Especially outside in the garden.
Yes. There's a lot of I don't have like a lot of different fae in like that I interact with, but I do know there's trooping fae. There's the fae that just travel. They enjoy traveling. They travel like twice a year during Samhain and Beltane. And they do a lot of their traveling at that point, the trooping fae, and you can actually, sometimes they'll troop right past your doorstep or right through your doorstep, and suddenly all this weird stuff is happening. And they're different kinds of fae. They're not specific to brownie or just gnomes or anything like that. They could be any kind of fae, and you never know what kind they are until they're doing their stuff.
I think of them all as elementals.
Yeah.
So what's the difference? Is there a difference between the elementals I call in to my
I think there
circle?
is.
Yeah.
I think there would be a difference. An elemental, I mean, you're working specifically with earth, air, fire, water, you know,
Right.
and the spirit of that specific kind of thing. Whereas a fairy can be a water spirit, but it's not the spirit of the water, technically. Does that make sense?
Oh, I understand. Yeah.
It would
when
be
I
considered, yeah.
When I call in my cups, right? My water, my west, it's like undines and
Right. Undines are a type of fae.
Oh, okay.
They are. But
maybe
that's
I
what I
need-
mean. Like, it's not, you can call in water, but it could be anything that's related to water that would come to you via your personal interactions with that element. Does that make sense?
Right. Yes. Yeah.
So if you
Yeah.
have more of a personal interaction with mermaids, right, then your water, when you call in water, you're going to get more of that mermaid energy. If you have more towards like oceanic fish, right, then that
Yeah.
kind of energy is going to come in more when you call in your water element.
Oh, I see.
Yeah.
I like that.
So they're also discussing that you must be secretly a
funny.
fairy, and that no, you're not hiding that.
No, not hiding that.
I love it.
Anybody would know it by the amount of sweets I eat.
Oh, we've had a couple other people come in.
Hello.
Phoenix. We got
Phoenix,
Tony and Natural Witchery. Thank you so
Hello.
much. Thank you, ladies. All right. So I have a question then. So your
Yes.
YouTube
Thank you.
channel,
Phoenix Fire.
like before you even came to YouTube, so obviously, you know, you've been interested in working with the Fae. Is that what brought you to YouTube, or what brought you to YouTube?
Actually, originally, I didn't come to YouTube for Fae stuff. I actually came for pagan stuff originally because in my area, there's not a lot of that available. And I was going through a really rough time in my life with a friend who hurt me horribly. And I didn't really have anything else to like look towards. My kids were teenagers, you know, and they didn't want to be around. They were down doing their own thing. So I was home alone a lot. So I started researching material actually for my crafting. I was looking up talismans and charms, and I grabbed all the books in the library that had any kind of mention of talismans and charms, right? So that was all kinds of different things. And I came across a pagan book. And then suddenly I was like, what's this? You know, it's like Jack finding, you know, Christmas. What's this? What's this?
I know.
So my entire living room is covered in all these different books, pagan related, like Wicca stuff. I mean, everything. It had everything, all sorts of stuff everywhere on all sorts of different things that I could find at my local library. And my poor husband, because at the time he worked out of town, like he'd be gone for a couple months at a time. And he was coming in, and I would stay up late at night. I didn't have a really good sleep schedule or anything. So I'd stay up late at night and I'd be reading and doing all my material work, but I didn't pick it up because I just left it where it was because I'm the only one at home.
Right?
So the couch, both the couch, the chairs, the tables, they're all covered in material about Wicca and pagan and all these different things, tarot, all of it, right? And he comes home and he's like looking around. I'm like, oh. So I grab my books out of his spot and move them out of the way. And I'm like, here, sit down here. And I finally realized that maybe I should have talked to him before. Really diving into that, considering his mom's a Seventh-day Adventist, right? So I looked at him and I'm like, well, so I'm now diving into this. I'm hopeful that you're not offended that I'm going this direction, right? And I know that he's technically atheist. He doesn't really have a belief in anything, but when you are married or with somebody, you have to take their stuff into consideration too, right? So I asked him, I was like, is this gonna bother you? And he literally told me as long as I wasn't sacrificing goats in the living room, he didn't care what I did. So that's really how I got into YouTube. It was mostly like tarot and pagan stuff. And I had my first deck was a fairy oracle deck. And at the time, I didn't know the difference between oracle and tarot. So then once I got on YouTube, I kind of started figuring that stuff out.
Nice.
Same. It's great.
It sounds like once your sponge was opened, you just sucked all that info in. That's how I was.
I tunnel vision dive into whatever I zeroed in on.
Yeah.
So everyone agrees that you're definitely Fae. For one, you don't age.
Right.
And
I want that elixir.
Carolina asks, what is your favorite way to connect to the fairies?
My favorite way to connect to the fairies? Honestly, it's going to sound weird, guys, but reading about them is my favorite way to connect with them. I enjoy learning. I had a conversation with another spiritual person, more in religion side of spirituality. And we were talking about prayer and we were talking about tithes because they were talking about how different things can be tithes and how your paycheck isn't the only tithe that you can provide. And she's the one who opened my eyes to an energy-based offering. Like the idea your time is never going to be there again. That is just as valuable as anything else you can do. So spending the time to create or to learn or to, just literally spend the time with that kind of interaction in any way, shape, or form is a kind of offering in itself. And so I enjoy learning about the Fae. And I feel like in that it's even an offering to them. And it also strengthens my relationship with them because of how I feel about it.
Wow. I think that's fabulous. Yes.
That is so awesome. I was feeling guilty the other day because I had crappy honey to bring out. So maybe I don't feel as guilty now.
Exactly.
I still spent the time to bring out the honey and the corn and the crackers.
So Tony asks, what do you think about all the mythical things being used in saucy adult literature? And which series is your favorite and why? Ooh.
Of course, you're going to go here, Tony. You would. Okay. So, favorite saucy material?
Hang on a second. I got a question.
Besides your own.
Okay. Okay. What's your question?
Team vampire or team werewolf?
No. That's a white shoe.
No.
How dare you?
No.
Yes. That's a white shoe. I like both vampire and werewolf. Okay.
Me too.
Sugar. Huh?
I'm both vampire and werewolf. Both.
Oh, both. Oh, I thought you meant neither.
No, why choose? It's a why choose. I'm not going to choose. Give them both to me. I'm good.
I don't want the shiny vampires, though. I want the Anne Rice ones. You know?
I don't know the Anne Rice ones. My favorite author is Cressley Cole. And don't worry, she doesn't write fae, but she does write spicy. And it does include vampires and Valkyries and witches, werewolves, and a lot of that demons, the really fun things.
The really fun things.
Play back and get her. I need a storybook for a change. I don't do those very often.
A storybook?
Yeah, like I'm always learning something or trying
to remember. So you want something that's just fun reading.
Story. Yeah. I am not good about that, but the only way I can do it is when I'm washing dishes, like doing Audible or whatever.
Yeah.
But I want one to read. So
you want to dive into something fun. I get it.
Yes.
So I think Rochelle's asking about a threesome with the vampire and the werewolf.
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
I like I don't have any, this is not safe for work, guys. I have no qualms about anything
Yeah.
like that. Like that doesn't bother me at all. And I'm perfectly okay telling you guys monster porn's my jam. Sorry. Or monster porn's my jam. I like
I would
the
rather
monster books.
Yep.
I like the monster books. Now I have read fairy books that do have more spicy content in it. I read, ACOTAR and stuff like that, which I was very disappointed in the first book of ACOTAR and was screaming at the book because how dare you not have anything spicy in it.
Oh no.
And I was under the impression, right, because of the whole hullabaloo of it, I was under the impression that it was spicy. It was not spicy. And the second book in that series is my personal favorite book. Okay.
Oh, it is. All
Yes,
right. I'll have
the
to look
second
that
book.
one up too.
Rochelle is declaring her love right now. Too early for Phoenix. She hasn't had her coffee yet. For the kink.
We'll keep it fairly PG-13.
Yeah. Whatever. Let's see. Oh, who needs coffee when you can have monster
geez.
porn? Yeah. Yes, absolutely.
That'll wake you up in the morning.
Hey, this is Tony's fault. She opened this can of worms.
That's
So
it. We blame her.
we blame her.
So, how long have you been on YouTube now? Can you remember?
I think I started YouTube in 2018 or 2019. I think my channel's like 5 or 6.
And is that your favorite content? Is the fairy stuff? I mean,
like what I watch on YouTube?
Well, no. What is your favorite to create?
Oh, yeah. I like fairy stuff to create. I like crafting stuff to create on YouTube too, but that's harder to do sometimes for me. Longer videos. I struggle with long video form. I'm working on it. Okay. But a lot of the times I'm always just like 10 minutes or less. If I go up to 15, I get like antsy. I'm like, oh no, it's going to be too long. Nobody's going to watch. But that's not true. It's not really true. That's just where my brain goes. So I like tarot stuff too. I like it. I enjoy putting tarot content with all my fairy stuff. I like that I can incorporate it that way.
What is beyond Twilight? Anne Rice, Stephen King.
Oh, have you
read and zombies?
Have you read any of Summer's books?
No, not yet.
They're very good, very spicy.
I wrote it down the other day somewhere. Oh no, you'll have to give me your pen name again.
It's Decadent Kane.
That's
with
right.
A K.
With a K. I remember that conversation.
Yep.
That was forever ago. That was way before YouTube.
I still have a couple of them in my I think on my Kindle.
Oh, that's fun.
Yeah.
I wrote a demon one and it cliffhangs, and nobody can get it right now because it didn't come out on ebook. It only came out in print form. And yeah, so it was forever ago. And it was supposed to be this 7-book series is what it was originally supposed to be. And it ended up being just 1 book and it ended on a cliffhanger. I got so many mean hate mail from that.
Oh, I bet.
When do you come out with the sequel or whatever?
That's not going to happen. I can't do it that way anymore. The migraines, that's what really happened is I was writing and editing for a living professionally. And my migraines kind of attacked and I spent 9 months down with a migraine that wouldn't stop. And it was bad. It was really, really bad. I could not function. And then they gave me a medication that actually altered my brain chemistry forever. Yeah. And that medication has it's attached to something that affects my ability to write and edit the way that I used to. I don't think about things the same way. It's not that I can't do it. It's that it's very difficult for me to do it. I can look at books and read them and know it needs to be edited, but I have a hard time articulating why.
Oh, I see. Okay. That makes sense. I am horribly, maybe should have went into editing instead of medical. I think I would have been better at it because I can pick out a misspelled word in the quickest of anything. I have no idea why, and it's so annoying, especially on Facebook. I go through and edit everybody's posts in my brain. It's annoying. It's like, wow. Oh my God, I hate it.
I use voice to text everywhere too, and it don't pick up nothing. I don't
No.
capitalize. I'm just like, yeah, whatever. Enter.
Right.
Yeah.
Ooh, audio, please. Summer.
Yeah,
They
audio.
need audio.
That's probably not also going to happen. It's very expensive to do audiobooks as an indie author. Extremely expensive.
Yeah, but you could do an unlisted video on YouTube and just send it to us.
Oh, so you want me to read it for you? Is that what you're saying?
No, I want to take you to bed with me, Summer. In here.
Oh.
That sounded horrible. Hopefully I'm not on podcast anywhere.
Oh, yes. I missed a little bit. Oh, in the comments, they were talking about another one for nice, spicy romances, Courtney, Aries Witchcraft.
Oh, yeah. Courtney has a whole series too, doesn't she? She has like 3 books, I
I
think.
think so. I think it's 3 now. But yeah, and they're really good. They're really good. I don't know if hers are as spicy as yours. I mean, yours really, yeah, but I like it. I like it a lot. So yeah. Oh, somebody else. Yes, Trish.
Trish came in.
Hi, good morning. Thank you.
Oh, there she is. Hello. I can see chat, but I can't respond to chat. It keeps wanting me to link my YouTube or something.
She said it's absolute filth. Yes, dirty girl. Yes, dirty girl. So okay, so we'll move away from that. When somebody comes to your channel now, obviously you have a lot of information about the Fae, and you're doing walkthroughs of decks. What do you what is the takeaway? What are you hoping people take away from your videos?
Honestly, I do a lot of my videos for pure enjoyment. I like going through decks. I like looking at the art and talking about the art a little bit. I like seeing how somebody else sees a tarot deck, and if they add fairy to it, I'm like, oh, how'd they do that? Because that's where my brain naturally goes. And then the stuff like the actual fairy content, at first it was really hard for me to put on YouTube because I didn't know how to express what I do very well. So it's taken me a long time to get to a point where I can put more fairy content out, like this year and last year. And what I hope is that people can maybe learn not to be so afraid.
Yeah.
Because there's a real fear out there. There's a real idea around the Fae that you should not work with them. And this is what I have to say to that. Everything has a dark and light side. And I know that this has been talked about with gods, goddesses, anything spiritual. But it's the same with the Fae. Yeah, they have the dark and the light part of the Fae too. And it's what you choose to work with, what you choose to interact with. The idea that the Fae are just these cruel, evil beings is an outdated and outrageous idea to me, because I don't see them that way. I do see them as not quite as nice, but neither is a god or a goddess. They are not meant to be so nice to us, right? And if we work with them, we also have to take into account all the things they could possibly do with our interactions. Whether you're working with Lilith, or you're working with Zeus, or you're working with the nature spirit outside, or a brownie inside. And all of those are going to have their takeaways, both good and bad. But that fear is what I'm trying to work. I'm hoping people will be able to work through when they come to my channel. They can see that because I'm this little tiny cute person, right? With this,
Bubbly.
and so it kind of shows a different side. I think. I hope that's what I'm hoping for is that different side. It doesn't mean that there aren't bad interactions. It doesn't mean that there aren't darker sides that you can literally walk into, because there is. But there is with literally anything and any person too. It is not just the Fae. It is everything that is like that. It's just the Fae get a bad rap, kind of, in my opinion. They're left back where they started.
Yeah.
If you think about it, gods and goddesses, they've come into modern time, right?
Right.
They've moved into the modern world, but the Fae are stuck way back here because nobody helps bring them into the modern world.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, according to a lot of people, they're still trying to steal babies.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Right. Like I said, they get a bad rep. It's not that stuff probably doesn't exist or anything like that. That's not what I'm saying. What I'm saying is that we evolve as human beings, right? Our gods and our goddesses evolve. Our earth evolves. Everything evolves. And you don't think the Fae do too?
Right.
Yeah.
Of course. Yeah, they would have to in order to survive.
Exactly. They have to adapt just as much as any of the rest of us do. It's just the way the world works, the way the whole universe works. Adaptation.
Yeah.
This is awesome. Hillary says, I agree. When I first started researching Fae, everything kept saying you had to be careful and it would probably end badly. So I was nervous. Summer was the reason I got over the nervousness.
Oh, I love that.
That's awesome.
Yay. So you're accomplishing your mission.
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yep.
That's good. I
And
know.
fear does keep us from adventure.
Yeah. Fear is a huge like stagnation point. When you put that fear involved in something, you're trying to, anybody who's trying to within fear, then you're not going to get very far.
Right.
Very well said. I believe in polarity anyway. So that definitely, everything is within a degree of each other. Hot and cold are the same thing. Good and bad are the same thing. They're just
love,
within
hate.
degree. Love and hate.
Line between love and hate.
Yep, absolutely.
Yeah.
So what kind of challenges have you faced since being a YouTube creator?
Challenges. Could you be more specific?
Like, has there ever come a time when you thought maybe it just wasn't worth it?
Yes.
And what did you do?
I took a break. I just took a little bit of a break. I don't do confrontation, which most people know. I don't do any kind of drama, which most people know. But there has been times when people have tried to interact that way on YouTube with me. And when that happens, it depends on what it is. But a couple years ago, it happened. I took like a 6-month break from YouTube, which you can see on my channel. Wow. And somebody had come at me about I was a toxic positive person. Oh. Because I didn't show anything real and a bunch of other stuff. And here's the thing. There's a whole thing that goes around toxic positivity, and I don't want to talk about it. That's real. Yep. Don't want to talk about it. What I will tell you is that I'm naturally a positive person. I look for things that are positive in my life because I don't have time to look at all the negative crap. Okay? I don't have time to sit and deal with a bunch of crappy drama that's not actually providing anything in my life. Nothing I can do about it or anything like that. So it's no point in having it. I curate my life for my own peace. And that includes anything I consume, whether it's TV or reading or talking to somebody. It doesn't matter. If you're coming into my life, if you're going to be in my bubble, if you're going to be in my space, it has to bring peace. And if it doesn't, you'll be blocked from my channel. I won't talk to you. I will remove you from the situation. All the stuff. That's just the way that it works for me. I don't curate anything other than peace in my life.
And that is very well said. And
it doesn't mean nothing bad happens, though, guys. That's not the thing. Like, bad things still happen, and I still have to deal with that negative aspect. But it's not something I look for all the time.
Right. Yeah.
So Tony says she thinks your biggest challenge is videos lasting over 6 minutes.
No, she's been doing good.
I have been doing better. I have. Last few months, I've been doing much better.
I think so too. And Rochelle says absolutely, that's about as real as you can get. And I agree. Exactly, Summer.
yeah.
Positivity
I
brings in positivity. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
yeah.
Debbie.
Yes. No, finish reading that. That's awesome. Exactly,
Just says,
Summer.
yep, I don't have time for negative shit either.
Exactly. Yeah. Yeah. Well, that was part of the reason that prompted me to do that live. I was accused of being too happy. What the fuck?
I disagree
What
with
the
that.
hell
And
is
I don't think
that?
people should bully people into doing that either, by the way. I think that's bully mentality.
I
How
do
can you
too.
be too happy? A lot of things in my life suck balls.
Yes.
And if I want to be happy here, I'm going to be happy here.
That's how, yes, exactly. And that's the way that it should be. It's your channel. And anybody who brings that bully mentality shouldn't be there anymore.
I
Right.
agree.
Right.
I absolutely agree.
Curate your own bubble.
Yeah. Delete, block, block.
Mhm.
Isn't that what boundaries are for anyway? Not everybody can handle the same things.
Yes.
It's called knowing yourself and knowing what you can handle and
Yep.
what you can't. That's why you put those boundaries out there. It is to protect yourself, and it's important.
It is super important. Yeah. Yep.
Yeah. And that would be a whole other chat because
It would.
I would like to get in on that one. I've
No
been accused of
negative.
that too. So
I think that goes into Fae work though too, technically, because most people see it as a toxic negativity, a toxic way of having anything, is because the Fae aren't seen as anything really positive anyways. It's a very hard for people to see outside of what the surface level of what people say is.
yeah.
Oh,
Yeah. I agree.
Trish, that is so true.
Now remember, I cannot read the comments, guys.
She says the older
right.
we get, the more important happiness is.
Yes.
And it is. We find less and less to concern ourselves with because I know for myself, taking stress out of the picture is very healthy for me.
Right.
Oh, I know.
You know?
Isn't that part of a crone life, like being able to do that?
Yeah.
Not
I'm going to say,
yeah.
ashwagandha and, yeah, some type of peace.
Yep.
Yes.
I know. I've been doing ashwagandha and yerba mate.
Ooh.
Yeah.
What is the yerba mate? Oh, that's like herba magic, isn't it?
Yeah, it's
yerba.
for GLP-1. Yeah.
Yes.
I finally started losing weight again.
Yes, I'm doing that too. Not that, but something. Yes. Mm-hmm. Yes.
Summer, however, doesn't need to lose weight because she's gorgeous and she has so much work.
On a windy day, she'd be.
You must burn all your calories out in the farm.
Maybe, I don't know.
Oh my gosh. How many animals do you have? Have you counted them?
Well, I have 2 horses that we rescued. I've got 6 hens and 1 rooster.
Oh,
So 5 hens because one of them died already. And so 5 hens and 1 rooster. I've got currently 8 goats. One of them went to their new home. And we have 8 cats because Parrot died, so we don't have Parrot anymore. And then my inside animals, I have Sasha, the Demon Lord Princess, and my 2 dogs, Deuce and Otto. Deuce is 13, Otto's 12.
Oh, what
Sasha's
kind of dogs
15. Huh?
What kind of dogs are they?
Deuce is a Mastiff mutt mix. He's my dog. Otto is supposed to be a mini Australian Shepherd. He was the runt of his litter and nobody wanted him, so we got him for free. And he is almost the same size as Deuce. And he's Adam's dog.
Oh, wow. Oh, I want to meet them. I
I'll
love the
do
dog.
a video of them. Beware though, because Deuce has some really severe issues. So he looks like he is malnutritioned, but he is not.
Mastiff is definitely bigger than you, she says. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
He's not a full Mastiff. If he was a full Mastiff, I would have a really hard time with it because those dogs, full bred Mastiffs, are as big as me. They are.
Yeah.
But he's only a half breed, so he's a little bit shorter. I'd still probably ride him like a horse if I really wanted to.
Right? Oh, that would be fun. We used to have a Rottweiler. The kids would do that too. I even crocheted them a little saddle.
So
His name
I'm
was
really
Mo.
curious too. Like I remember, I think you did a video on it, or maybe we were talking one time. I don't remember, but snakes. You're in Wyoming, right?
Yes.
Ooh.
So what? How do you deal with that?
That's much harder. When we first moved out here, because we've been out here almost 5 years now. It'll be 5 years this summer, I think. Snakes would travel back here where we're at because there was nobody here. So they just travel wherever they want, and we have rattlesnakes. And we have garden snakes too. We have other kinds of snake, but rattle is the one that most people are worried about. And so they would travel back and forth out here, and then we started building out here, and the snakes, they'll start staying away, but they don't originally know that people are back here until they come back here. And I remember my first summer out here, like living out here fully, and I had my granddaughter. I was watching her. She was just tiny, right? She wasn't even a year old yet. So she was in her playpen, and I had her outside in the front porch area with me. And of course, the house is little. It's a 12-foot by 20-foot tiny home, right? And so I had the windows open because it was so hot, and I didn't have an air conditioner because we live off grid out here and we didn't have anything hooked up yet. And so the air was just rolling through, and my dogs were outside on the part of it. And I hear this rain sound, like a rain stick.
Oh my
God, what is that? And I'm trying to figure out what it is. Okay, I have no idea what it is. And I hear this rain stick sound. I'm trying to figure it out. I thought it was in the house. I'm like searching through the house. The grandbaby's on the porch in her playpen, and she starts crying because I left. So I've got the grandbaby crying. I'm working through the house trying to listen for this sound. I go to the back door and I hear it coming from outside. And I'm like, what is this? So I open the back door, and the dogs had a fenced in yard. Okay. It was fenced in.
yeah.
And I used to park my blue Jeep alongside of that other, like this end of the fence closest to the house. And underneath my Jeep is this giant rattlesnake, and it's just rattling. And both the dogs are like zeroed in looking at it. And I'm like, oh my God, what do I do now? Because I can't let it go. Because if I let it go, it's headed towards the goat barn and the chickens, and I don't know what to do now. So I called my husband. I'm like, what do I do? And he's like, well, you're going to have to kill it. And I'm like, what?
Oh, you don't have a gun?
Oh, yes, I have a gun. I have two guns.
How?
I have a 410, and I have a 22 with the barrel that moves. I can't remember what that's called.
Yeah.
But I have one of those guns.
Fun one.
The fun one. Yeah, you could do that. So I'm out there with this 22 to start with, right? And then we have snake shot, and I can't see very well, guys. So that's one of the problems I have with everything. I don't
Under
have.
the car.
Huh?
Under the car?
Yeah, it's under the car. It's under the car. So I have no depth perception. Everything looks flat to me, and the snake blends into the ground because it's kind of like, the same color as the
diamond.
And so here I am trying to shoot at this snake, and it starts moving. It starts going, and I'm like, I'm at the end of the dog run with this gun, and I'm like pointing it at it, and I'm like, I'm not gonna hit it. And I'm on the phone with my husband, and he's like, you can do it, you can do it. It took me 12 shots to kill a snake.
Good
12
job.
shots. 12 shots of snake shot to kill a snake.
Bing, bing, bing,
And it gets better. The next year, I ended up having to do it again, only this time it was in the dog run. And here's where fairy interaction comes in, guys, because at this point, I'd been working with the Fae for a year out here. And when I go out my back porch, right, there's the porch with 2 steps and the dog run that's fenced in. The snake is at the very bottom of those steps inside the dog run. And the dogs are right there just staring at it, and it's just like shaking its rattle and stuff like that. It's got its head up, and it's I did not know what to do at that point either. Like, I heard that rattle sound because it sounds like a rain stick, and I knew from the first time that rain stick sound was not good. So I thought it would be underneath my car again. No, it's at the bottom of my back door steps with its head up, and the dog's right there. And I'm like, oh my God, my dogs are going to die. Like, my dogs are going to die. How are they going to get in here, right? And so I knew the snake's head was up, but I couldn't tell much else yet because I was really terrified to even open my back door. So I opened my back door because I'm like, oh God, what if this snake like comes up, right? Because they can kind of like jump a little bit. It's not like they can go far, but that's what they do is they use their body to go over things. They like slither over things. It's like a twirl jump thing. It's really weird. So anyways, here I am. I'm like, oh God, these dogs have to come in or they're going to die because I cannot shoot with the dogs out there.
Right.
I would end up killing one of my dogs because I can't see right. So I have to get them in somehow. And there's no way to get them in other than the back door. There's no other way. There's no gate in that fenced in area. It's just the back door because it's just literally a dog run. That's all we were using it for. So I was like, oh, so I sent out my please, Faye, please stay here with me, help them get in safe. And I opened the back door and I was like, dogs inside now. I clap my hands like that. Both of them jump over the snake. The snake stays in place. It doesn't do a damn thing. It doesn't lunge for either one of them. Nothing. Nothing. And they both got in safely. And then it took me 11 shots to kill that one. I improved by one shot.
Yes.
Wow. Yep. What? One,
Oh my
one
God.
better. There you go.
Scary.
Wow. Wow. Yeah.
Oh, no. See, I'm safe in the Northeast. We have bears and cougars and mountain lions. And that's
We
it.
do have mountain lions. We have bears. We've had a bear roaming around out here one time. My neighbors believe that Bigfoot roams around out here, that he travels from one area, just like a portal from one area to another. And our neighbor had footprints because he built his house out here. They don't live out here anymore, but when we came out, he had built his house from the ground up. He was a construction guy. He actually built houses for a living. And he took plaster of Bigfoot feet that he had found outside, out here on the prairie in the middle of freaking nowhere.
Oh my gosh.
Giant feet prints, and he put them in his walls.
Wow.
Yes, he did.
Awesome.
Yes, he did, as a safety precaution to keep Bigfoot away.
Oh, hey, that's a great idea.
Interesting, right?
Very interesting. Yeah.
That's awesome. I love how different people do talismans and protection amulets and things. It's so fun. Hi, Angela. I didn't see her come in.
So, Michigan has rattlesnakes, but they're smaller and not, I think they're still venomous, but very minutely so. But yeah, so I mean, we get snakes around here a lot. So I don't think I could imagine. I mean, I don't want to imagine, because they'll crawl right across the front door, but they're, garters and corn snakes and stuff.
I think total between me and my husband, we've killed only 5 snakes actually near the house.
Well, you've been there for a while now.
That's not that bad. They've pretty much learned that we're here, and so they don't generally try. They'll avoid us if they can. So.
Yeah. Well, that's good.
That seems to be just about everything, unless something's rabid, right? And then it'll come for you. But normally up here, everything just kind of stays away. We do have fisher cats out back that scream. It sounds like a baby screaming when they're fighting. So weird. I'll try to get it on recording some night.
Oh, yeah. That'd be interesting to hear.
You can hear them go back and forth.
So Selena wants to know if you saved any of the rattlesnake tails.
We did save the rattles. I don't know where my husband put them, but we did save them. If I could find them, I'll do a little video of the tails. I think we did the 2 that I shot. I think he kept the 2 that I shot, but he had them in a little jar, and I don't know where he put them, but I'll ask him after we get back from California. And
that would be awesome.
And then I'll show you guys my 2 rattles. That took, what would that be? 23 shots to kill.
Yeah.
But I got better.
Yeah. It's like buckshot up here, right?
So what do you have coming up?
Is that what they call buckshot?
Snake shot and buckshot? I don't know if they're the same. I have no idea.
I don't know either.
I think so. It's like little BBs, right?
Yeah, little bead thingies.
Yeah.
So what do you have coming up on your YouTube channel?
So far, like this May, we're going to be following Miss Courtney because she's doing her Divine Feminine series, and I want to do a couple videos with that. I might not get to a video until after I get back from California. So I'll have tarot videos coming up because I'll be in California. I've got those scheduled for you guys. And they're just walkthroughs, you know, US game decks and stuff. And then when I get back, then I plan on doing a Divine Feminine, you know, to support Courtney and her work that she's doing over on her channel on Aries Witchcraft. And then in June, it's my turn. And we are going to be exploring Fae, and we're going to explore like inviting the Fae, like how to get the Fae to start interacting, right? And ways that you could try to encourage that. And then we might do, we're going to do like this little tiny journal thing. It's really easy. It's like a 1-page journal where you just fold it and cut it in a certain place, and then you have a journal. That's it. You just fold it together, and now you have like an 8-page journal. And you can keep like little fairy interactions that you run into throughout the month. We're going to do that in the first week. So I'm going to try to do 2 videos a week for June, and all of it will be fairy related. I might do some tarot videos in between just because I am a reviewer for US games. Right. And so I do have that to contend with too. So one of those videos each week might end up being a tarot deck at one point. But for the most part, I plan on keeping it very, very fairy related as much as possible. And to that fairy idea of interaction, pulling it into your spirituality, how to encourage them to come see you.
Oh, I am so much looking for. And June, it's really nice out here, and maybe nature Fae.
Yeah. Nature's really waking up by June, especially out here. And it gets really green out here. It's like the perfect time to even do outside work out here because it looks pretty and you kind of want to be out doing it.
Oh, I love that. I'm really looking forward to that.
June's my birthday month too.
It is?
Oh, yeah. I'm going to be 54.
Nice.
Oh, youngin.
What are you, 4 months older than me?
No, if you're only going to be 54, I'm like a year and a half older than you are.
You are?
Yeah, I'm going to be 56 this year. Yeah.
Oh, wow.
I'm 43, so.
Nice.
Well, you're extremely young. Obviously, like the ladies were saying in chat, you're Fae. They couldn't believe that you're a grandmother.
Yeah, my granddaughter's 5.
Oh my goodness.
Wow. They said it's the Fae blood that is keeping you eternally young.
There you go. Yeah. My husband believes that too. My husband believes it too.
Yeah.
It's true.
I'd say it's very believable. So we're close to the hour, but I have one important question. And that is, what advice would you have for anyone when it comes to spirituality and like 2 separate things, spirituality and Fae? So like 2 separate questions.
2 separate questions. What advice would I have for spirituality? And then what advice would I have for Fae? Let's start with the Fae. I would say, don't be afraid, and you got to start somewhere. Okay? Yeah. And if you don't believe, you're never gonna find it. And it doesn't matter if it's Fae or spirituality, right?
Yeah.
That would be my main things. And as far as spirituality as a whole goes, if you don't put the time in, you're not going to gain anything out of it.
That's perfect.
It's perfect.
That is
and
perfect.
It's so true. Yeah, it's a practice. You have to practice it.
Yes. Oh, in June, I'll do a fairy Q&A too towards the end of the month. I'm not sure if I'll do it live or not, but we'll work on a live one. So if you guys have extra questions, even after this video or, later on, look for that because we will answer as many questions as possible.
Sweet. Thank you so
Excellent.
much.
So all the ladies are talking about their ages. Her husband's going to be 54 in June, and Sissy is 54. She turned 54 in January. And Selena is 43, another youngin.
Hey, she's my
is 43.
Another 43.
Look at that.
I'm just 43.
My people.
57.
57.
Wow,
yeah,
we're all pretty similar, huh?
Oh, yeah, right on, Jess. All right. Oh, my gosh. You guys have been awesome. Oh, And Lady Blind Wolf is 52.
52. Nice.
Yeah.
Sweet.
Right on. Well, thank you, Summer. I am
Thank you
so
so
looking
much.
forward to June.
Me
So looking
too.
forward to that. I'm looking forward to Courtney's. I have not gotten my first week done.
Oh, I'm doing mine today.
I need to do, I'll probably get mine done today, but I
I got
mean,
my journaling, but I haven't done my tarot pull.
oh, you know what? There's another
What?
thing that I forgot to say before we get going is you just started a Patreon, didn't you?
I did. Yes.
Right.
It
Oh,
literally went live like this week. It's just literally started, so I'm getting content out for it, but I'll probably have to wait for a lot of it until after I come back from California. But I'm gonna have a couple of things up before I leave.
Congratulations.
oh,
I'm
that's awesome.
excited
Yeah,
to check that out. I'm definitely going to check it
me
out.
too.
So,
We'll include the link, right?
yes,
In
as
the
soon as, yes, I'll put all that stuff in the description. We'll get Summer's link in there and link to the Patreon and any social media. Because do you have like other social media pages that we can go look at?
Not that's associated with necessarily Fae, other than my Wispy Realm stuff. But I'm
Okay.
kind of taking a back seat on a lot of that.
Oh, okay. Okay. That's actually that would be a whole other topic too. I
It
have
would.
some of your pieces and they're gorgeous. And your dolls. Your
Yes.
dolls, they are amazing.
I know.
Amazing. Now
So
see,
pretty.
when I think of the Fae now because of those dolls, I
Yes.
see that's kind of what I see.
Do you have time for them to meet Effie?
Yeah, we got
Oh,
time.
yeah.
This is my house brownie.
Aw.
Oh my God. I love her. Oh, so
How much
cute.
time went into
This took me 3 days. She took me 3 days to make.
She's beautiful.
She's my house brownie. She's the one who helps me take care of everything out here.
Wow.
Oh,
Wow.
well, she's doing a great job.
She is. I just adore her.
You're
Absolutely.
so talented. Oh my gosh.
Thank you.
Yes.
Love them.
Very talented.
See, on my Patreon, I'm going to be showing how to make those things too.
You are. Oh, hopefully, I'll be partaking if I can keep my animals out of the damn hospital.
Oh, I'm so
Yeah.
sorry.
Yeah.
It's
Me too.
expensive. Animals
It
are
is.
so
They
expensive.
are.
Oh my God. Anyway, I'll be there.
Tony says, I hear Faye and all I hear is Astaria and Hunt the Mortis Hombre.
Hunt the Mortis Someday.
What is that?
I don't know.
Is that another language?
I don't know what that is.
Now,
You're more
keep it-
cultured than I am,
Oh.
Tony. I live in a basement.
Now, keep in mind that Summer is sight impaired and she creates these beings, or rather brings them into this existence. That's, yeah. Yeah,
It's
they're
almost
like,
like
please.
creating
Yes,
yourself.
I don't know what they look like until they get here.
That is so amazing.
It is amazing. It truly is. And I think that's why, when we're talking to you, Debbie, and saying that you're witchy and you're creating, it's because anything that we create is coming from that
Yes.
spirit. It's you're bringing that into existence. Yeah, it's a beautiful thing. Well, thank you so much. Trying not to hear that noise out there. So thank you so much for being here. And thank you so much for chat. And again, make sure you check Summer out, and any questions, she's always willing to answer whatever you got going on and probably make a video.
Yes.
And have fun in California.
Well,
Oh, yeah.
thank you guys for having me. I appreciate it.
Oh, we're so thankful you came on.
Me too, very much.
Yeah.
Well, I hope everybody enjoys the rest of their day. And thank you
Bye,
so much
friend.
for being here.